Thank you all so much for coming this evening, and a special thank you to Stefan for hosting this exhibition and making this possible, and for fighting every single day to try and make the world a better place for animals. At the heart of this exhibition, you will find our iAnimal virtual reality project that Stefan was referring to. So through the lens of these virtual reality headsets, you will be transported inside European factory farms and slaughterhouses, and you will be able to experience what life is like for the billions of chickens, pigs, and cows imprisoned inside these concrete walls across Europe. It is a life-changing experience, so please do take this opportunity to watch these films here this evening. All of this footage and all of these photographs were taken by animal equality investigators inside factory farms in Europe. These are farms on our doorstep that we possibly pass every single day and just have no idea what's going on behind these windowless walls. And it's kept that way for a reason. What our videos show is standard legal practice. These are the conditions that more than 90% of the animals raised for food, milk, and eggs in Europe live in. These are the conditions that our farmers and our politicians and our supermarkets brag of when they talk of our high welfare standards here in Europe. I personally have been inside dozens of factory farms in Britain, and my colleagues here from Germany, Spain, and Italy have been inside many in their countries too. And we're here today to say with one resounding voice that what happens inside European factory farms is nothing to be proud of. When most of our 12 million mother pigs are still forced to give birth inside tiny metal cages that deny all of their maternal instincts, and their 150 million piglets are fattened inside barren, filthy pens on concrete floors with absolutely no meaningful enrichment, despite the piece of European legislation that says they must have it. When more than 6 billion chickens are still confined inside huge sheds with 50,000 other birds, all who are growing so unnaturally fast and so unnaturally big that 300 million die on the farm. They're just trash. They never even make it to the slaughterhouse because the conditions are so very brutal. When hundreds of millions of rabbits and hens spend their entire lives inside metal cages, and more than 100 million ducks have no water to bathe in, we cannot take the moral high ground on the treatment of animals. I find I get quite fed up from hearing special interest groups and the politicians who want their money and their votes perpetuating this high welfare fallacy. Even the very inadequate laws that we do have in Europe to try and protect farmed animals are violated every single day on every single factory farm. European law recognizes farmed animals as sentient beings, rightly so. And as such, they are meant to be guaranteed 5 basic rights. They are meant to have the right to freedom from hunger and thirst, yet millions of chickens die of dehydration every year because their legs buckle underneath the weight of their ballooning bodies and they cannot reach the water drinkers. They are supposed to be guaranteed a freedom from discomfort, yet mother pigs suffer repeated pressure sores from being unable to move when they're confined in these crates for weeks on end. They should have freedom from pain and injury, yet millions are deliberately mutilated. Hens have the ends of their beak cut off, piglets have their tails, their teeth, and their testicles cut off, all without anesthetic. They should be guaranteed freedom from fear and distress, yet tiny baby calves are taken away from their mothers within a few hours of birth and dumped in pens all on their own. What could be more frightening for a newborn baby, or more distressing for a new mother? And perhaps the most flagrantly violated of all animals in the European Union are meant to have the freedom to express natural behaviors. I spent 8 years of my life studying animal behavior, so I find this particularly egregious. But you do not have to have a PhD in animal behavior to know that pigs were designed to root in the soil, ducks were designed to swim on water, chickens need to roost in the trees, rabbits need to burrow underground, salmon need to migrate, and calves, like all baby mammals, need to suckle from their mothers. Yet none of these animals, not a single one of them, can express even their most fundamental natural behaviors in the artificial confines of a factory farm. And giving them a few more centimeters of floor space or a handful of straw is not going to change that. What we put on paper and in our policy documents is completely meaningless. Any objective visit to a factory farm, even vicariously via our virtual reality headsets, can have only one logical conclusion. These are the most miserable animals who have ever existed, and future generations will condemn us if we allow this mass suffering to continue. So please, take the time to look at the photographs, take the time to go inside these farms via the virtual reality films. This is the unvarnished picture of industrial farming in our countries. And the next time you hear someone boasting about our high animal welfare standards, remember these images. Remember that each and every one of these animals is a sentient being. Even our law says so. And they have complex senses and emotions, and every single one of their natural behaviors is denied in a factory farm. And then please, find the courage to speak the truth. That factory farming, in all its shades of grey, is the greatest crime of our time. And that each and every one of us has a duty to do everything in our power to bring it to an end as soon as possible. And if we all work together with bravery and urgency, we can end factory farming in our lifetime. And we will be able to look our grandchildren in the eyes and say, we did wrong, but we were unwavering in our efforts to put it right. So please, each and every one of you, we need you to join this fight. Thank you.